Now, all that said, there's more negative to Tyre and Sidon, that region of Phoenicia, because one of the worst people in the Bible actually came from the region of Tyre and Sidon, and that was Jezebel. And Jezebel was the daughter of Ethbaal, king of the Sidonians, is what Scripture tells us. And her name means princess of Baal. And then she married none other than Israelite King Ahab. And so their reign together was one of the most ruthless and abuses of power we've ever seen in the nation of Israel. And she practiced witchcraft, and she promoted Baal worship to a place that had never been seen to that time in the nation of Israel. So that's a big time negative when you think about the history of Tyre and Sidon in Israel. And then as well, maybe the most striking thing about Tyre as it's referenced in Scripture is in Ezekiel chapter 28, the king of Tyre is actually used as a metaphor for Satan. The pride, the wealth, the indignancy towards the Lord. And so chapter 28 of Ezekiel, the metaphor for Satan is the king of Tyre. So all that is our backdrop as we think about the proclamation against Tyre here in chapter 23. So let's read through this chapter, because really we're dealing with one of the most incredible, powerful, profound prophecies in all of the Old Testament as it pertains to fulfilled prophecy. And we'll get to that here in just a second. So the burden against Tyre, chapter 23, verse 1 reads, "Wail, you ships of Tarshish." And Tarshish was modern-day Spain, Europe. Tyre, its ships sailed all the way to Tarshish. "For it is laid waste, so that there is no house and no harbor. From the land of Cyprus it is revealed to them." So everybody's hearing about the fall of Tyre. "Be still, you inhabitants of the coastland, you merchants of Sidon, whom those who cross the sea have filled, and on great waters the grains of Shihor. The harvest of the river," that's the river Nile, "is her revenue. And she is," look at this, "a marketplace for the nations." So Tyre was a hub for, at that time, global commerce. "Be ashamed, O Sidon, for the sea has spoken, the strength of the sea, saying, I do not labor, nor bring forth children, neither do I rear young men, nor bring up virgins. When the report reaches Egypt, they also will be in agony at the report of Tyre." And so Tyre's strength, verses 1 through 5 tells us, is going to fail. Its fortified walls, and it was a heavily fortified city, and its commercial importance is going to fail. And in fact, the nations of the world, as far as Egypt, people are going to agonize because of the impact the fall of Tyre has on globalization and the global economy. "Cross over to Tarshish and wail," verse 6 says, "you inhabitants of the coastland. Is this your joyous city, whose antiquity is from ancient days, whose feet carried her far off to dwell? Who has taken this counsel against Tyre, the crowning city, whose merchants are princes, whose traders are honorable on the earth? It's the Lord of hosts. The Lord of hosts has purposed it, to bring to dishonor the pride of all glory, to bring into contempt all the honorable of the earth." Verse 10 says, "Overflow through your land like the river," that river Nile in the spring when it floods, "O daughter of Tarshish. There is no more strength. And he stretched out his hand," that's God stretched out his hand over the sea, "and he shook the kingdoms. The Lord has given a commandment against Canaan to destroy its strongholds. And he said, you will rejoice no more, O you oppressed daughter, virgin daughter of Sidon. Arise, cross over to Cyprus, and there also you will have no rest." And so in the verses 6 through 12, we see that Tyre's pride is going to be turned into shame. Its fleets of ships would cease to sail, and all that it held dear and valued would be brought down low. And notice it's God who was going to do this to try to shake up Tyre's world.